Welcome to Beyond the Gates. My name is Susan Wheeler, and this month we are exploring all things in Irvine. And with us today is Kristen Jefferson, who is the program manager at one of the many senior centers that we're going to be hearing about here in Irvine. So Kristen, welcome. We're happy to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about the big three senior centers. What do we have going on?
Yeah, so Irvine is very lucky that we have three dedicated senior centers for the residents of Irvine. We have the Lakeview Senior Center, the Rancho Senior Center, and the Trabuco Center. And all three of them offer a variety of programs and services. Our Lakeview Senior Center has a daily nutrition program. Oh. We have a resource center dedicated for seniors. So again, Irvine is very lucky to have all these programs and services available.
Really, I'm amazed. And you have this wonderful catalog that outlines all three programs that are available in Irvine. The biggest is the Lakeview Center, as you mentioned.
Yes.
And yours is kind of a middle-sized center where you have just any number of interesting programs, from Bollywood yoga to Bollywood dancing, tap dancing. 3 or 4 tap dancing classes, cooking classes. What are some of your most popular classes?
You know, we have such a wide range of classes, it's hard to say what's most popular. Our dance classes are very popular. Line dancing is a huge trend right now.
Right.
We have a variety of fitness classes. Something unique we have here at the Rancho Senior Center is a senior boxing class.
Oh.
Which is a lot of fun. They do, at our other sites, we have, like you said, Bollywood dance, which is unique. She combines traditional Indian dance with modern dance.
Oh,
so that's a lot of fun. Our cooking classes, once a month, Sharon comes out and teaches a different recipe. And while the recipe is cooking, or while the food is cooking, then she does some sort of topic on, food storage or how to preserve your vegetables to last longer. So, a lot of variety in our programs that we offer.
It really sounds like it. Now, are the programs free, or is there a charge?
It depends on the program. We have a lot of free programs that you can just sign up for and drop in that are non-instructor led. So you can come here and play bridge if you want. You can come play mahjong, and that's free. We also have volunteer-led classes. Some of those are free as well. So from Tai Chi to a lot of variety of dance classes. The Lakeview Senior Center has a drumming class, a guitar class, and those are all free. Mm-hmm. And then we also have instructor fee-based classes that they charge, that you register for, and you pay for each class that you attend.
I understand. What's the maximum size of the classes? I bet you have waiting lists for some of them even.
Some of them we do. Our more popular ones, and a lot of our free classes, they do have wait lists just because they are so popular.
I see.
It really depends on the individual class. So some of our fitness ones, they might have a lower registration just so the instructor can properly monitor everyone and make sure they're being safe. A lot of it depends on the room size, so it really depends.
All right. Now, the classes are open to, you don't have to be a resident of Irvine.
You don't know.
Just a resident of Orange County, or?
Yes, all of our programs are for seniors ages 50 and older.
Oh, okay.
So it's a relatively young age, which is nice so a lot of our younger adults in Irvine can participate in our classes. And it is open to anyone. It doesn't have to be even of Orange County. Our fee-based classes, there is a non-resident fee associated with them. But you can still register.
Okay, you can still register. Now, what's the connection with Irvine Valley College? Now, we're in Laguna Woods, and we have emeritus program through Saddleback and also Irvine Valley College. So you have some of those classes being offered here as well, is that right?
We do. The Lakeview Senior Center and the Rancho Senior Center are satellite locations for Irvine Valley College Emeritus. So you would sign up for those classes through IVC, but then they're held here.
I see.
So some of those, we have a watercolor class, our tap dancing, we do a physical fitness class. So there's a wide variety of classes held through IVC as well.
Okay, that is good to know. So some of our emeritus people may end up taking a class here, and they may not realize all the other many classes that are available here for them to take as well.
Yeah, so it's a great resource for them. They, like you said, they might come in just because they're taking that one class and then see a flyer. They'll pick up a copy of our connection and then be exposed to all the other services and programs that we offer.
That's great. And your location, you're off Culver, is that right?
Yes, the Rancho Senior Center is located off Culver, as well as the Lakeview Senior Center, and then the Trabuco Center is off of Jeffrey.
All right, so easy to find. Other options here. computers or gardening or?
Yeah, we do have, the Lakeview Senior Center has a billiards room and a computer lab. The billiards room is free to use. The computer lab, you do have to be a member, and there is an annual fee associated with that.
Right.
And then the Tribuco Center and the Rancho Senior Center have fitness centers on site. It's a great resource for seniors. One, it's only for people who are 50 and older, so if you don't feel comfortable going to a larger gym with people working out or with a younger audience, it's a great resource. We have on-site fitness coaches, and they teach, they do one-on-one appointments with you. So it's a social atmosphere, which is great for our seniors versus, going to a gym that might be a little bit more intimidating.
So a real opportunity to meet new people.
Absolutely.
And is there a charge for those? I would imagine that.
There is. There's an annual membership fee for the fitness center as well as the computer lab.
All right, that's good to know. And I understand you occasionally have gardening classes here.
We do. Quarterly at the Rancho Senior Center, we have gardening workshops. So the master gardeners come out and they teach a different topic, from gardening in small spaces. The one coming up is how to preserve your plants from pests. So yeah, there's each quarter is a different topic.
That sounds great. You were telling me earlier about a pizza gardening.
Yes, that's coming up in the fall.
Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so wonderful programs, computers, gardening. Anything else going on?
Yeah, we encourage everyone to come out to our Senior Expo. It's coming up on Friday, August 25th. It's at the Lakeview Senior Center. It's a free event. We'll have a variety of community vendors out there that are just showcasing their products. We'll have fitness demonstrations, so it's a great opportunity to sample some of our classes. We'll also have a raffle and some education lectures going on, BMI screenings, blood pressure screenings, so it's a great event. Like I said, it's free, so why not?
All the things we love. That's great. So that is August when again?
Friday, August 25th.
August 25th.
9 a.m. to 12:30.
Sounds very interesting. Well, Kristen, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today and hearing about all the wonderful opportunities available here in Irvine. So I hope our residents will be checking in on things.
We hope so too.
Thanks, Kristen. We're now at the Irvine Historical Museum, and with us today is president of the Historical Museum, and that is Gail Daniels, who's going to be filling us in on the very rich history of Irvine. So Gail, it's a pleasure to have you with us today, and I honestly am not quite sure where to start in asking you about Irvine, because it is has such a rich historical background. So maybe we can just start at the very beginning of Irvine. What was this area like in the beginning?
In the beginning, before Gaspar Portola came up from Mexico, it was all Native Americans. And Portola came up in 1769.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and with the missionaries, and so they established the mission San Juan Capistrano, and this area, all of Irvine, was within the sphere of influence of the mission San Juan Capistrano.
Got it.
And upon the war that Mexico had with Spain and kicked out all the Spaniards had to leave, and so this became a Mexican land grant. All the Dons in Southern California were going broke. The cattle and horses were their money. They were dying because of the drought. Their finances were drained, so they had to sell. And James Irvine was among one of several men who came to the gold rush in 1849, made their money on the gold rush. James Irvine came from Ireland, stopped in New York, and thought he'd make his fortune with the gold rush. He did not make it mining. He sold supplies to the miners.
I see.
And every time he had extra money, he bought land.
Oh my, so James Irvine. So how did that spell out? I mean, what happened at that point? Once he was accumulating all this land.
Well, that's when in Southern California, all these rancheros came up for sale. And so he, along with his partners, Llewellyn, Bixby, and Flint, purchased the Rancho San Joaquin,
Right.
which is where we're sitting right now, He purchased it for 37 cents an acre.
Well, that's not a bad deal. Oh my gosh.
No,
Oh my
it was,
gosh.
the land was going pretty cheap.
But he had foresight. I mean, there was no water here then. What did they do about the water?
They had water, except it would go wherever it wanted to.
I see.
So the Santa Ana River would go wherever it wanted to go.
I see.
And right next to us, where the golf course is right now, was a freshwater marsh, which made it a haven for wildlife and for people.
I see.
And that's why this particular building was built here.
Got it. And then eventually, the ranches, well, there was no cattle and horses were gone, but so they started farming this area because of the natural access to water through the Santa Ana River.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was very rich soil.
So it turned into farmlands.
Yes,
All
and it
right.
was, James Irvine didn't want to have his land broken up by homesteaders. The California state legislature was controlled by homesteaders, which meant that if you found land and you made it productive for, I think, 3 to 5 years, you got to own that land.
Right.
Well, James Irvine didn't want that to happen.
Because he had bought it all already for himself.
Yes, he bought it for himself, and so he had tenant farmers.
Ah, all right.
And the tenant farmers would raise the crops that he told them to raise, and he would get a portion of that.
So once all this farming had been was taking place, and there were, I understand, lima beans, and soon came the orange groves, and soon the population increased. And so with the population increase, other big changes came about, right?
Yes, the big change was actually World War II. First of all, the United States government appropriated and bought part of the Irvine Ranch, about 4,000 acres, to make the El Toro Marine Air Station.
Oh, I see.
That was within the city limits on the Irvine Ranch. The Irvine Ranch was 100,000 acres by that time. And it went
Unbelievable.
from the Pacific Ocean all the way up to the Riverside County border.
That is unbelievable to see that on the map. It is such a huge chunk, huge.
It was nearly between a fifth to a quarter of Orange County. That's a lot of land.
It is an awful lot of land. And now, what's the population of Irvine?
Well, the population of Irvine currently stands at about 310,000 people.
Which is huge, yes.
Yes, in 1964, before the University of Irvine opened up, University of California, Irvine opened up, there were only 44 people who lived on the Irvine Ranch.
Gosh.
Then the Irvine Company was approached by the University of California to put a campus on their land.
And this was all in the mid-60s, mid-1960s.
Actually, it was the late 1950s.
Oh, my
was when
gosh.
the planning started.
Planning, all right.
But it wasn't until the 60s, or the 1963, that the campus was started to being built.
Got it. All right. And at that point, now James Irvine had his hand in so many aspects of this. Well, the campus was built, UC Irvine, and then the planned community started to develop. I mean, and that was is that right? With James Irvine was sort of oversaw the planned community.
Well, he didn't really like that.
Oh, he didn't?
He didn't.
Oh,
He
okay.
never wanted to sell any of his land, so he really resisted it. But he wasn't going to be able to pay his taxes because his land was reassessed after the sale of the El Toro land. And he died in 1947. And when his son Myford took over the Irvine Company, the writing was on the wall that agriculture was not going to support their taxes. So with the inclusion of the University of California on Irvine Company land, that's when the homes started being
I
built.
see. All right. And thus came the amazing community that was developed, that was planned very carefully with parks and recreation and all sorts of facilities and water resources nearby. And I mean, this was an amazing development project at the time, wasn't it?
It was at the time, and it still is. They still, the city of Irvine gets asked by people from all over the world, how did you do this? How did you do this planned community?
Right.
And how do you get people to like it? They're also, what people don't realize they don't see when they come to Irvine, the city of Irvine, is that all our wires are underground.
The amazing amount of foresight that went into all of this, the whole thing is just quite amazing. So the place that we're in right now that houses this fascinating historical exhibit that's going on, who lived here originally?
Actually, it was built as a dining wing for the people who worked on the ranch.
And much more. And I think this might be the time for us to do a little walk around and take a look at some of these exhibits.
Okay. And then on this wall, what we have is a general plan for the city of Irvine and actually the entire Irvine Ranch, showing the outline.
Well, now we're in the room with the early founders. I mean, the James Irvine and all the people that were responsible for creating this amazing community. So who do we have over here?
All right, you have James Irvine the First, who came over from Ireland and settled in New York. And then when he heard about the California gold rush, he got on a ship with a lot of other young men. He had 2 children, but one surviving son. It was James Irvine II, or J.I., who inherited the ranch when he turned 25. He had 3 children. He had James, or Jace, he had Catherine, and he had Myford. So Jace was supposed to take over the Irvine Company, but he died, unfortunately, of complications from tuberculosis. And his daughter Catherine died in childbirth. His son Myford took over the Irvine Company in 1947 when James Irvine II died. So then so he was in 1947 seeing the development of Southern California, and that's when all the ranches and rancheros and agricultural fields were turning into land development. And so we do have an old town in Irvine.
Yes.
It's on Sand Canyon, at the intersection of Sand Canyon and the 5 freeway.
Okay, I'll have to watch for that.
You know, we have photographs of that. We give tours of Old Town the second Sunday of the month.
Good to know.
At 12
All
o'clock.
right, that is good. Well, Gail, thank you so much for this amazing tour of Irvine, learning about the ranch and everything that happened throughout its history and what it's become now.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Very fascinating. And now, moving on, let's see what we have coming up next. Continuing our adventures in Irvine, we're now stopping at Porch and Swing Restaurant in Irvine, but it's actually more like a little taste of Charleston. And with me here today is Andrew Parrish, who is the owner of Porch and Swing Restaurant.
Okay, that's correct.
Well, Andrew, we're excited to be here, and tell us
Excited to have
about
you.
this restaurant. You're from Charleston.
I am from Charleston. I grew up there, was born and raised. I moved to California 20 plus years ago.
Oh, my.
I go back frequently. I take my wife back, and she wants to move back there now. But
dear.
obviously we can't do that yet.
No.
But yeah, so I wanted to bring a little taste of Charleston out to California.
And you have so well. Well, now the feel of this has a very different, a unique ambiance, where it's brick and how else did you describe it? I feel like we should have buggies outside or.
Yeah, no,
carriage rides.
it's definitely, when you go downtown Charleston, you'll see a lot of brick exposed in some of the restaurants, and so we wanted to have that same feel. We wanted to have that inside-outside kind of feel. and it's very welcoming. Tables are close together, so you can have a conversation with maybe people next to you if you wanted to. But it's just a little charming restaurant that we
And
put
it is
together.
charming. And your location is a little bit different than what I expected. I thought you'd be in a sort of country area or something like that with porches and swings on the, all that. Not so. It's a big big business complex. And it is, and the name of the complex is?
Centerview.
Centerview Complex in Irvine. What area of Irvine? This would be the northeast, southwest. But,
Good question.
all right.
Right near John Wayne.
Right near John Wayne. That's a good description of
Yeah.
it. And there are lots of businesses around us. And there's this fabulous open air park in the middle with, with water and lots of places to sit outside. A little tricky to find a place to park here. It's a business park, so park down below. But we found you.
That's
and we
good.
are so glad we found you. So now tell us a little bit about your menu.
Well, the dinner menu we change every month. So our chef Alan, we sit down and kind of discuss a few things, and then he changes it. And he wanted to do it, and we're like,
Now he would be your chef.
our chef,
Alan.
yeah.
All right. And it's pretty much a farm to table.
Table, yeah. So
everything is
all of our
fresh.
stuff is from small farms, small meat purveyors
Right.
that we research, and we also have like a microgreens spot that's right down the street that grows our microgreens for us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's all fresh. There's no chemicals. It's all indoors, very organic. So yeah, we're happy to bring that good quality food to share with people, because a lot of places around here they'll use these big brands and the big food trucks you'll see sitting outside, and so we don't use those.
You don't do that.
Yeah, we only use small purveyors.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then you have a very unusual menu. Well, including biscuits and cornbread and
Yeah, the biscuits are very good. We change those flavors periodically. The cornbread, I have to mention, is unique because we buy the cornmeal from this farm in Edisto Island, and when we make the order, they mill it and ship it out to us.
Oh,
so
my
it's a
gosh.
single origin blue corn from Edisto Island, and it's never sitting in a warehouse. It's just milled to order fresh, and then they make this great blue cornmeal. So it's really good. The butter on top of that changes periodically as well.
the butter on it.
Yeah.
Meaning honey butter or
So honey butter spiked with like spices, or there's lavender, honey, espelette pepper, butter. I mean, it just changes all the time.
And what other highlights on your menu?
So we, at the end of the month, we bring back some classics that when we first opened, people really go crazy over, like our short rib, our pork jowl, and things like that. So we are now starting to package those up so people could come and purchase them and take them away and heat them up at home, which is super fun. Like if you don't want to bring your whole family here, or don't have time, you could just swing by.
What
pick
a
up some of
great
that.
idea.
Yeah.
It's an instant meal.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different than just a meal to go. I mean, you have...
Yeah, it's all prepared
All
for you. All you have
prepared
to do is
for
put it
you.
in the oven, heat it up, and you're golden.
What a good idea.
Yeah, time saver
Oh,
too.
yeah. Now, I understand we have this amazing backdrop here. You also do craft cocktails.
Yes, I put the bar together. I've been collecting whiskeys and other alcohols for a long time, and so yeah, it's very unique because we have things that not all of other restaurants have. So yeah, it's fun and challenging at the same time.
Oh, I imagine. And bartenders. You must have specially trained bartenders.
Yeah, I'm the one.
Oh, you are?
I'm the one.
And you know your whiskey, and you yeah, it sounds like...
Yeah, we have the whiskeys here. There's like 78 on the shelf here, and then there's another like 250, 300 in the back
Really?
in our whiskey and wine cellar. So yeah, it's fun. It's challenging because all the flavors are different, unique. We fresh press all of our juices. We make everything here.
Wow. And do you have whiskey tastings
Oh, yeah.
here? Oh, you do?
We do whiskey dinners, whiskey tastings periodically. I think the recent one was Four Roses. It was a large-scale pairing with Four Roses, and it was a very, very big
So
success.
you have a dinner, appetizers with it that you pair with the...
So the chef takes the product and builds the menu around the product.
All right, and then you figure out the drinks, the cocktails to
It's
serve
like a
with
welcome
it.
cocktail kind of thing.
Right.
If it's wine, it's a welcome wine, and then just it depends on to dinner.
Sure. Now, I noticed you have some special events, like one was wine and whiskey. What's
Yeah,
that
those
all
are
about?
our outdoor events. So we'll usually take over the courtyard and we'll have music. We'll have all of our vendors come out, set up tables, set out a bunch of product for people to try. We'll do either a barbecue or we'll do something in the kitchen and bring it out.
Wow, that is
yeah, it's super
amazing.
fun.
So it's all out on the open area.
Yeah,
The band.
The band. We'll set that up on
and-
on a Sunday,
Uh-huh.
and we have people coming out starting at 11, and it'll go till 3.
So this is just on occasional
Yeah, yeah.
Sundays. Well, it seems like you would have a captive audience here because you're right in the middle of all these businesses that are around here. And do people come swarming in here after work?
Sometimes, not always. We do close from 3 to 5, so it gives us a chance to reset from lunch to dinner.
To make that
And,
transition.
so from
Yeah.
5 o'clock on, it's pretty good.
Okay. So your hours again, you're open from
12 to 3,
12 to 3,
and then 5 to 9.
5 to 9. And you have different menus for each of those.
Yes.
All right. Cocktails are all good.
Mhm.
With your craft cocktails, do you have any specialties that people come in and order regularly?
Yeah, there's a few. One of them being our peach tea infused old fashioned. We take peach tea that we get from South Carolina. We infuse the bourbon for 24 hours and then strain it all out, put it back in the bottle, add a little demerara and some peach bitters, and it's
Oh my
fabulous
gosh,
old
that
fashioned.
sounds
So you get little
wonderful.
hints of the tea, little hints of the peach, but not sweet at all. Just a classy.
Oh, it sounds
old-fashioned,
fabulous.
yeah.
Well, is there anything else you would like to tell viewers about?
Yeah, I mean, Fridays and Saturdays are special here because we do bring out musicians. Weekends, especially Friday, we have a DJ.
Oh,
Old
fun.
school DJ, vinyl, no button pusher DJs, just kind of bringing back the old school records.
Sounds good.
From 8 to 11. And then Saturdays, we have these really talented jazz musicians that come out and play from 7 to 10.
All right. Good
So
to
it's
know.
those are 2 special nights, and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
get really busy for that, and we're it's just a fun place to be because we have the courtyard available for
Oh,
us
it's
to
huge
use.
what
so-
you have. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, it's been a pleasure speaking
Pleasure.
with you about this restaurant.
Yeah, pleasure's
And I
all
hope
mine.
our viewers will find you. It really is a unique place.
Thank you.
Well, this has been quite a tour of Irvine this month, and I hope you will come and check out some of these places that we visited. So, see you all next time.